right now, I want to talk about a nuance that I just think is really cool. So, something that I'm continually seeing through surfing and just living is it's not necessarily the situations that it's not so much the situations that happen and that we experience that are the reasons that we either have a good experience or don't have a good experience. I think it's more accurate that it's the meaning we make of the experiences that we have. It's the way we interpret the experiences we have that lead us to either having a great time and having fun or not having a great time. So I was with a client today and we had a surf session. I was expecting the surf to be I was expecting it to be way better than it was, which I often do. And, we were surfing Greenmount, and when we turned up, we'd planned to surf Greenmount, and when we turned up, it was really crowded, and there weren't a lot of sets coming through, and it wasn't super big, which, I felt really expecting better. I felt really disappointed by that, and I felt myself go, my energy went pretty flat. And I was, with my client, I was considering, do we go further up Snapper? Do we just go out at Greenmount? And as I was just navigating this experience of, what do we do now that the surf's not as pumping? There was just this sense that instead of worrying about getting the perfect conditions, what I really needed to do was come back to my breath and just come deeper into this sense of reality and what's happening. And instead of making meaning of what's happening, instead of saying today's not as good as I thought, damn it, just let today be the way it is. Let the conditions be the way they are, and just move with what's happening, make the most of it. So as my client and I were paddling out and I was having this experience, I just started to feel inspired to paddle slower. And I started to feel inspired to just take more time paddling. And instead of thinking about what the conditions were doing and how I wish they were different, when I'd have a thought like that, I'd just come back into the sensation of breathing and paddling. This sense of moving mindfully. And, as my client was next to me, I just started sharing cues around that, and we both started to enter into this state of just greater presence together. As we were paddling out, we decided to just go to Greenmount with the crowd and just send it. And, we made our way there with guidance of every time we think about the crowd and how packed it is and worry if we're going to get a wave or not, we're just going to come back to our breath. We're just going to come back to listening. And from there, we made our way into Greenmount. All of a sudden we were in a crowded lineup, and waves, there was some really good waves coming through, surprisingly good waves. And just through like being present, we were able to get a few really good waves. My client scored a few of like the better waves of the day, which I was stoked for him on. And yeah, what went from an experience of like, oh, this is gonna be a really like bad surf, and having conclusions around that, turned into like a really fun morning where, you know, we were getting waves, like we were having fun in the crowd, we were laughing at, you know, the carnage that happens. And it just opened up this really like cool experience we didn't expect to have. And looking back, if we had just said, like, the conditions aren't perfect, let's go find somewhere else, let's try to find some more perfect waves, we would have robbed ourselves from the chance to just move away from the meaning we make of something like a crowded point break. And we would have robbed ourselves the chance to just have fun at a crowded point break and get some really quality waves. So, yeah, I think this morning was just a really cool reminder that we don't, it's not so much about the conditions, and it's not so much about what happens outside of us. It's more about the meaning we make of that either kind of leads us to suffering and having a shitty morning, or having a great morning. And so, yeah, I just share that to plant these seeds. And, you know, as you're moving throughout your day today, if you think about something like, you know, that's frustrating or annoys you, and that you wish were different, what would it be like to, in that moment, come back to your breath? Or just come back to this sense of listening and presence. So, yeah, if you try that and have a cool experience, please let me know your feedback. And hope you have an awesome day. Enjoy just moving through reality and enjoying whatever happens.